The Raiders finally make their initial 53-man roster, and we're going to talk about in this video if there's any surprise cuts that have gone on. And I know in my last video, some of y'all was going back and forth about some of the moves we made, Trayvon Mullen and Alex Leatherwood, and how I didn't agree with everything we've done so far. And that's okay. You know what I mean? That's why we're here to talk about it. That's why I love talking football, because sometimes we won't agree with everything. But man, this one, we are going to break down that 53-man roster. Let me know what you think about that last video. Let me know in the comments, and let's jump into this one, man, and talk about this 53. So the number one thing that I noticed about this roster was the fact that we held on to only 3 tight ends. And I think that was a surprise to a lot of people, because when we talked about it in the live and did the predicting the 53-man roster and we only kept 3 people, there was a lot of people in the comments kind of upset because they thought it was unrealistic in this Josh McDaniels offense we would keep so many tight ends. But really, in past time, he didn't hold that many tight ends. And it showed today when the initial roster came out. Now, another surprise was the fact that we held on to so many running backs. Kind of a surprise, but at the same time, the fact that we kept Britton Brown, I'm very glad. We kept Britton Brown, it seemed like, and let go of Keelan Cole. So someone had to take a spot and someone had to really go and kick rocks. And it seemed like that was Keelan Cole in this situation, because he was the one in the wide receiver room that when it came to those top 6, he was the one that seemed like he was going to go, or DJ Turner. And we ended up keeping DJ Turner in this aspect, and Tyron Johnson. So it seemed like we wanted to go with the younger guy with the higher ceiling. And I'm glad we did. And I felt like we also did that with Britton Brown. So we have great young depth players on this offensive side of the ball, especially when you consider the fact that Josh Jacobs is on his final year of his contract. Then you have Brandon Bolden, who's only on a 2-year contract, and he's 32 years old. I'm not surprised, but he is a Josh McDaniels guy. I'm just glad we didn't cut Brandon Brown to keep Brandon Bolden. That would have made that. I would have probably started disagreeing with stuff right there, and we would have been back at it. But to move on, other spots on the roster, the quarterback room, we already know about that. The offensive line, though, we kept 8 offensive linemen, and it's not really that much of a surprise because a lot of these guys are versatile, and you can move, say, our right tackle, Illuminor, to right guard. And we've seen him play left tackle as well in this preseason. Then you talk about John Simpson is, I guess, going to be the backup, because it seemed like Dylan Parham got the last time when we started against the Patriots. Dylan Parham was out there at left guard, and we've seen him play center and right guard as well this whole preseason. So a lot of versatility on the O-line, so I'm not too worried there. We probably do need to get a veteran, but at the same time, I think they trust Jermaine Illuminor, and he is that veteran technically at that right tackle spot that people really want to get. So let's give some credit to Illuminor for putting in that work and solidifying that spot on the right side. Now let's go to the defense side of the ball and stay within the trenches and talk about this defensive line, because we let go of Pecco. We talked about that earlier. And now we're really going to have to focus on these rookies, Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell Jr. Now, I was a fan of Neil Farrell Jr. coming out of college. I wasn't so sold on Matthew Butler myself, but because they're young and they do have great aspects to their game, Butler being more of a pass rusher, but he could definitely polish up his run game. And then Neil Farrell Jr., I thought, could collapse the pocket in the pass game, but also help stop the run, and that's why I liked him. So those two are going to have to develop, and they're going to be in rotation with our veteran guys in Nichols and Hankins. So I definitely like that development in the D tackle room. But then when you move on to the DN, I think we're great. I think the fact that we're able to hold on to Bowers and then also hold on to Cleveland Farrell, Malcolm Kuntz, and then you talk about our starting lineup, Jones and Crosby. We're going to be sold up right there, and it's going to be great to watch. And it's going to help this defense get to the quarterback, and those DBs are not going to be as stressed. Now, I was upset about the fact we traded our DB and Trayvon Mullen, because I felt like he's a premium cornerback. If anything happens to one of these corners, he's going to be a guy that could have came in or at least started. But if he didn't start, he could have came in and replaced Anthony Averett or Rocky Sin and kept up that momentum, kept up that coverage, that at least he would have been a competent corner. Now we're going to really have to depend on, if there's an injury, then we're going to probably put Amik Robertson out there, because we did let go of Darius Phillips as well. Or a guy that we all wanted to make the team is Sam Webb, which he'll come in and play, which will be fine in some aspects, especially if he only plays in the nickel and only in situational moments, because we don't really want to put him out to the fire and covering, some premium wide receivers, because we did see him in the preseason. He did look good, which I was not too concerned about him coming in. But him guarding a premium receiver, it's not going to be that easy, especially when you have a veteran quarterback, and our whole division has good quarterbacks and good wide receivers. So putting a rookie out there, just it would be very tough to see that happen. But he is probably our best depth corner at this point, outside of our top three in Averett, Yasin, and Hobbs. Now, shout out to Kenny because he was giving me a hard time in the last video about Hobbs. He's saying he's the best corner on the team, which, yeah, I would agree with that. But what I was saying about Mullins was Mullins, since we drafted Mullins, was our best corner up until we got Casey Hayward. Now, Hobbs is now our best corner, but Hobbs wasn't our best corner last year. Casey Hayward was. So just to clarify that. And all I was saying was Mullins was really good last year to start. He just ended up getting hurt. I think everything in the safety room is pretty much what we would imagine. Abram, Merrick, Harmon, those are the top guys. And then you have some depth guys in Mayo, Powell, and Teamer. So that'll be all right. And now let's talk about the special, and all that's left really is the special teams and the three special teams players that we know: Carlson, Cole, and Sieg. So I think we're going to have a great year with this team. Best team we've had on paper in a long time, probably 20 years or so. Let me know in the comments if there's any surprise cuts or any surprise makes on this team. Oh, almost forgot about the dang linebackers, man. Sheesh. The linebackers, really, we know who the top three are. We kept five. The two are the rookies in Darian Butler and Luke Masterson. Shout out to them because those guys were really working their ass off this whole preseason, and they stayed healthy. They showed what they can do. They got better as the preseason went on. Look at Luke Masterson wearing the green dot. We talked about him. And then Darian Butler is a guy that can definitely come in and replace some type of weak side or even strong side linebacker, whatever linebacker spot he has to fill in, because Masterson seems like he's definitely the backup in the middle. But I'm proud of those dudes. Glad to see they're able to come onto the team and make it, because I definitely wanted to see them as our depth pieces. So shout out to all the 53. This is only initial, so there's a lot more moves that are probably going to come. Maybe some more guys get cut, and then we bring in some better guys. Trades may happen. I wouldn't be surprised if anything like that happens. So let me know what you guys think. Go make a play, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this 53, and let's get it.